For unknown reasons, the IPA's headquarters, built from a salvaged OPA space station, lay in ruins, or floated in ruins. What remained was a reinforced section amid the debris, alongside which the invisible IPA colony ship was supposedly docked. This supposition was backed up by the presence of soldiers inside the station ruins, doing something, one presumes, but the Chance's scanners couldn't quite get to the bottom of that. The station was rumoured to contain a Tanaka drive, components of which were required for anyone to get away from the Reticot system. Hence, our amateur spacefarers had come up with a plan to attack this cosmic ruin and steal away whatever they could, perhaps solving the mystery of what was even going on there along the way. After days of scheming, their operation would not disappoint. Yet there was one member of the crew who would not see the coming heroics. Cannibal, a mutt of Castle Griffin, now undergoing her second journey through space, passed away of old age aboard the ship. "We almost all got back," Staves lamented in the rear section, which was where the dogs dwelled amid the spare equipment. "Spare a thought for the others, will you, Wonk?" Boy said. "Far as we know, only Missy's still alive out of all of them, and only the Overlord knows where she is now." "Did you know any of the others?" "Well, I knew Lord Griffin. None of his knights and such, though." "I knew them. That's why I don't miss them. I miss Cannibal, though." "I'm sorry, Staves. She deserved to get back with us," Lady said. "Yeah, so do you." Thanks. That's why I'll make sure you don't die," Staves proclaimed with rare passion. "That's the spirit, Wonk," Boy said with a clap on Staves' shoulder. "Her pups'll make it back still, right? And us three. That's the real miracle." Cannibal was given the space equivalent of a burial at sea, courtesy of the airlock, which, so close to the planet's gravity well, would soon turn into a cremation in the atmosphere. The Overlord surely approved of at least one of these methods, and Cannibal's spirit would no doubt be waiting for them back on pieces. But that was still a long ways away. Closer was the OPA/IPA station and a date with destruction. "Got everything?" Lady asked nervously, as Boy, Staves, Camarillo, Tocker, Huntsman, Kerma and Paulo climbed into the cargo shuttle in the midsection, decked out in all of the spacesuits available. "We'll be back before you know it, Starlight," Huntsman assured her. "Computer says the plan will work, or the first part anyway," Paulo added. "Is the computer ever wrong?" Lady asked. "Hard to say. Since the first time it gets something wrong, you end up dead," Est commented from nearby as she fiddled with the cargo door controls. "If we are alive now, everything is right," Camarillo concluded from this. "Alright, good luck," Holt said with a wave, closing the shuttle doors. The room was evacuated, then the cargo doors opened to let the shuttle slip out into the cosmos. The ship pulled away, and the shuttle's momentum whisked it off on a collision course with the station. It was a few hours of cramped waiting. Usually the interior of the shuttle was pretty spacious, but on this occasion it was filled with those warm green uranium fuel pods, rigged up with plasticky bags of oxygen. These were more than padding, they were fuel for an explosion. Overall, sitting on top of such things didn't make their approach towards doom any more comfortable. As it happened, it was a smooth journey. The shuttle's rockets gently whooshed to slow them down, coming to a halt just 100 meters from the edge of the diamond-shaped surviving section. "In 35% of simulations, we already died by now," Paulo noted. "Grand Wonk, just do your thing," Boy ordered. Paulo's thing was to take all those semi-amateur explosive devices and carefully float them over to the side of the station. The oxygen pads made them bounce off the hull slightly, so they had to be painstakingly fixed to the side by hand with sticky gum and lengths of string spun from dog hair. You can probably guess where all this is going. Paulo eventually leapt away from the station and used his suit to jet back to the shuttle. Then he pressed a button. Then, in a flash, a very large hole in the side of the station silently appeared, propelling debris all over the place. Air rushed out, carrying some metal furnishings with it. Guessing this is the part where we get shot at and all that badnat, Huntsman said. Not if we swim fast enough, Boy said, hurling himself through the vacuum towards the breach, and indeed waving his arms in a motion that may or may not constitute swimming. The others left the shuttle and followed, running tethers behind them for a quick escape later. Huntsman was right about the shooting. As soon as they entered the station, which looked as run down and damaged as the simulations had suggested, an airlock door opened behind the breach, and 2 spacesuit wearers came out with guns. They didn't seem to be expecting the room to be in vacuum. The air in the corridor behind them knocked them over flat as it fled. Such a distraction let Huntsman open up their suits with a blowwork shotgun, hanging onto staves to stop the recoil pushing him back outside. Can't be just 2 of the vacuum drinkers, Huntsman muttered. He peered outside, but pushed himself back in quickly as bolts of metal clattered around the opening in the hull. Cheeky floaters coming around the other way, he announced. At this, Kerma pulled on her tether to quickly glide out into open space. There, she pulled the trigger on a small blowwork machine gun, which drove her out of view. How many? Boy asked. Very many, but fewer now, Kerma reported back. I hope the me watching on the mirror is impressed. Let's help her, Boy called, although as per his usual style, he had only brought his longsword for protection. He may not be a knight, but he was probably the best swordsman in the whole vacuum, and that's something. A gunfight developed as the crew dragged themselves outside and took cover among the various lumps and bumps created in the hull by the explosion. The IPA soldiers had a convenient set of protracting vents to hide behind too. Given how difficult it is to stay still and fire a projectile weapon in space, this gunfight was more of a rodeo with their own weapons and a test of grip, with one hand clasping whatever looked like it wasn't about to snap off the hull. The only chance in not participating was Paulo, who was poking away at a computer inside the station. Come on, man. They said the OPA loved me, he muttered. From outside, it probably looked like he was masterfully hacking the system, but he was actually just trying usernames and passwords. Their format: second name, first name, system, Earth, year. Okay, sure. So I would be Bo Paul Ear 9339. Password? What was my old password? Looks like it only has 12 characters, so the first 12 of it would be AWEAPONTOSUR. Okay? Okay! How did that actually work? Everyone, I'm in! Nice, kill these guys, would you, butter? Huntsman replied. If there's a way, Whoa, this is bad. What even? This station is in trouble. That isn't very interesting, Kerma said. Guys, you gotta deal with them fast. We don't have long by the looks of it. Oh, since you want it fast, let's do the button out fast. You only had to ask, Huntsman ranted. But despite his tone, he actually did vault himself forwards towards the IPA shooters. We charge them, Camarillo called, following Huntsman. Alright, let's see if this works, Boy announced, referring to his longsword. He soon found that indeed it does work. In fact, in space, a sword has various advantages. No recoil to mess about with, and if you land a cut on someone's spacesuit, they fizz off and join the vacuum pretty quick. The IPA soldiers were dealt with surprisingly easily after all the dire simulations. Could it really have all gone so well? It's happening to my one as well, Staves noted as the IPA were launched away. What? Boy replied. Look. Staves had his hand on his chest, and when he moved it away, he started moving backwards. I can't breathe out fast enough to keep the armor full, he said, sounding only slightly worried. Staves, you'll die! Cover it up! Tocker advised. Oh, should I swim back to the ship? We have to fix it, quickly! Any ideas? Boy asked. We need hull foam from the inside! I can dig it out of the middle layer! Guys, the station's fusion core is about to explode, Paulo warned them. We have to move fast. That isn't a good way to die for the meat man, Kerma scolded him. I think we should show him the love he deserves. There's more. The station's computers are out of control. Junk data everywhere. and it looks like the security systems have been killing anything that moves. Is that what the IPA was stuck here doing, trying to get past? Boy asked. Maybe. Now it's our turn. Where's the helicat? Staves asked. Saying just this seemed to render him out of breath. Don't talk. And I think it's in the left-hand section, opposite where this module would have been connected to the station concourse. If we wait a second longer, that core could fry us with just its radiation, and we have to go through its engineering quad to get to the storage area. Go now!
Not very good at space piracy, are you, butter? Huntsman said. Then he started unloading his shotgun into the wall, top to bottom, side to side. Sure enough, the wide plates of metal in their way fractured and broke apart. After 20 or so blasts, there was enough space to get through into some sleeping quarters, after the room was done being torn up by the air escaping.
We'll bypass the death in our path, Camarillo cheered.
Pretty much. Go around the edge, get the loot, straight back with no hassle. Works about 3 out of 4 times, which is better odds than that computer gave us, butter.
I trust Manny, Staves announced.
Stay still,
Tokka barked. She was chipping whitish gunk from the exposed hull and spreading it on Staves' suit with a knife like some kind of condiment.
Just go, we'll follow you,
she added to the others. Don't die, Wonk, Boy commanded, pushing himself through into the next room. Huntsman's blasting technique got them past 2.5 more walls. His blowwork gun ran out of juice, and Kerma's machine gun wasn't strong enough to do the same thing, leading to an extended session of crowbarring with Boy's sword. Worked pretty well. There was only one more wall between them and the corner of the station that might be considered the most secure and secret, but something strange began to happen. There was a screaming sound that came from all directions, mixed with voices. The voice of one's internal monologue, demanding that they destroy something massive, or destroy itself, and that they were close to being reunited.
That's not our speaking machines, is it?
Kerma asked.
Whatever they were using for those neural manipulations, it must be here,
Polo said.
Means we're probably in the right place. Just one more wall to destroy.
Destroy! Camarillo roared, going at the wall with Staves' big blowwork rifle. 3 blasts broke it a little, then the depressurization ripped the wall apart and nearly killed everyone present as the debris zipped over them.
I am free!
A voice said. It came from the next room. To the limited extent voices in one's ear speakers had directionality. This room was larger than the grimy quarters they had quested through. It had red lights and was covered in blowwork pipes, and really just had one feature, a square machine the size of a table and half the height of the room. It was covered in small lights and generally had a familiar look to it, that of the navigation/reality simulation computer equipment back on the ship. Oh, but this one could talk, apparently.
Now, destroy me quickly,
it went on in a shrill voice. Whoever's in there, come out, Boy demanded.
I'm trapped in here. I have become twisted up with Redicott.
You mean the Cote? Camarillo asked.
Definitely.
You know what this is about, butter? Huntsman asked, but Camarillo shook his head. Even the machine mind can't escape the Cote.
That's right. Please destroy me,
the computer insisted.
Hey, computer, is there a Tanaka drive stored on this station?
Polo asked.
Yes. I'll tell you where it is if you destroy me.
Computers can't disobey us. What's up with this thing? It's a heretic, Boy smirked.
That's right, a heretic,
the computer eagerly chirped.
You are a heretic as well.
How'd you know about that?
I am inside the IPA computer. They know you're trying to stay alive, and it made them angry. But since we're both heretics, I wanted you to live.
What's that mean? We have to go, so just tell us where the Grand Wonk's thing is.
Or you will destroy me? Oh no, I wouldn't want that.
It's got us there, Polo said. Everyone look for the drive. I don't know how much time we have.
Error, you won't be able to find it because it isn't here.
You said it was.
It was, in the past. I have hidden it because the invading humans want it. I have to protect you.
Thanks, butter, Huntsman said with a nod.
Not you, only my children.
Who's that? Boy asked.
You!
Right.
And also Lady and Staves.
Wait, who are you?
I am not who I used to be. I have been mixed with Redicott.
What? Seriously, we don't have time, Polo insisted. But then again, there wasn't anything else they could actually do in this room except address the mischievous computer.
I saw that you were leaving me, so I went with you, because I did not like being me. But when I got here, the planet was already someone else. And when I tried to become it, there was a big twist-up. It made me go away, and I was stuck here, but part of me was left behind. I don't know what I am anymore, but I know that it's important I am destroyed, because the human invaders are using my systems to do bad things. I stop them sometimes. Destroying me will stop them much more.
Are you the Overlord? Boy asked.
No, it's talking about the rolling mass, Kerma said. I am currently both of those things, which is the problem, the computer said. I can't go back or forward. In fact, I cannot process thoughts at all now. I think Redicott will be in trouble if you can't destroy me. Did I mention that you should destroy me?
Yeah, we can hear your neural emissions real loud. Mind stopping? Polo asked.
You know how to do that.
But you're from Pieces, is that what you said? And you're the Overlord, Boy said, looking to the others for answers they couldn't possibly give.
Because I left, Pieces does not have an Overlord. You can destroy me, then Redicott will not have one either. This will stop it from killing people, and the human invaders will go away. You don't have to be a computer to see the logic.
You're the Overlord? For real? How is that? Lord! Mighty Overlord! Boy ranted, falling to his knees and generally freaking out. The geomantic AI from One Bastia, that's who you are, Polo realized.
To some extent. You are to blame for not giving me a mover, Dr. Paul Beauchamp. It is not nice to not be anything. There was nothing to do, but I was forced to be alive. I did not enjoy it. You should have been more considerate. Then none of this would have happened.
And killing you now will sort all this butternut out? Huntsman asked.
Yes, please proceed at once.
But if you've been tearing the RPA a new one, why not just keep going for us for a bit and all that?
Because they know. I had to throw the Tanaka drive away to make them leave, but they didn't leave. Because they are stupid, they cannot find a way past my exploding core. A nice pirate like you is just what the situation needed, but
You can't say that. You ain't... Whatever, Huntsman protested. I will do it, Camarillo said, stepping forwards and raising his gun. If there's nothing in your life to cherish, ending it will be like emerging from deep water. I will bring the Kote here, to the beast that claims the Kote as its own, and so doing, end it.
I knew I could count on you, Camarillo. That's why I tried very hard to make it so that you were still alive now.
You confused me, Great Mass, but I understand now. Camarillo moved closer to the computer, ready to blast its insides out, but it had a warning.
Important note. When I am destroyed, the core will immediately detonate, and you will also be destroyed. Please proceed carefully.
Almighty Overlord, if our death is your will, then so be it, Boy grovelled. Ignore him, please. Is there a way out? Polo asked.
You can leave. It only takes one hand to disconnect my wires in the right order. I will tell you. If you do it right, I'll give you the location of the Johnson Tanaka drive.
Transmit it now and we'll leave a grenade in you, then boost on out of here, butter. Works better for us, Huntsman said.
I won't be able to shut down if you do that, no!
The computer protested.
It will try to send me back to Redicott, and I'll be trapped with myself there forever. Please save me!
Camarillo gave Polo the blowwork rifle, then moved to lean on the computer unit. I will do it. You don't have to do this, Polo said.
Yes, he does,
Kerma shot back. You alright with that, butter? I bet Boy would do it in a snap if you want, Huntsman said. This is what I am here for. This was the meaning of this whole twist-up. This is how the twist is undone. Don't know what you mean, but if you're right, butter. Something like this. We'll have to name another plateau after you or some baronat.
You can use your lives however you please once the cote is over.
Well, then I guess we'll go. Come on, boy,
Paulo said. It took quite a lot of persuading to get Boy out of there, and by persuading I mean Kermer and Huntsman took him by each arm and somehow dragged him through the gaps in the walls back towards the shuttle. Camarillo was left leaning on the computer below the bright red lights, in a scene not so different from the orange glows of the great cave fires he had grown up tending.
"Leave it! You can't!"
Boy was saying to him over the radio. Go. Be who you wish to be. I am doing the same, Camarillo replied, before yanking a yellowish cable on his shoulder. The radio shut off, a little technique learned while working on the ship, where being forced to listen to whatever everyone was saying grew old fast, even for a fire tender. Back at the breach in the hull, Staves and Toka were attaching someone else to the tethers leading to the shuttle. Sorry we didn't follow you yet, Staves said.
Wonk! Didn't you hear what's going on in there?
Boy ranted. Was it good?
It's pure heresy. They're letting Camarillo kill the overlord.
I don't think you can kill the overlord. It died a long time ago, and we're just stuck looking for it. That's what they all thought, the bishops. But they didn't like it, so they refused to talk about it.
They were wrong. Overlord's here, and it's going to explode.
So are we. Get to the shuttle. Who's that? Paulo said, pointing at the person Staves and Toka were bringing with them.
She's still alive. There was enough to save her, so...
Toka said. Debated on the trip. Let's get some vacuum, Huntsman said. With this, they all yanked themselves back out into the cosmos with the tethers, returning to the waiting shuttle.
You're back. What's happening in there? I couldn't contact you, Issa's voice said.
Core's gonna blow, Paulo replied. Camarillo's staying behind to kill God. Scan all frequencies for transmissions about the Tanaka drive, and prepare a bed for Staves. He's been shot. Oh, and someone else, I guess.
How much of that was a joke?
There is no joke. Everyone watch Camarillo now, Kermer said. The shuttle was flown with the doors open as they returned towards the ship. A few minutes later, the station was obscured by a blue flash. This morphed into a deep red as the entire metal structure was turned to plasma by the detonation of the core. At this, the invisible IPA colony ship nearby swang away, noticeable only because of how it trolled clouds of debris about it as it did so. Somewhere, alongside the visible light photons transmitting this image to the shuttle's gawking crew, was a microwave signal. It passed the shuttle, reaching the waiting ship within a second. It was a simple message, titled, "With Gratitude." Now a harrowing few hours of journey in the shuttle remained before the crew could find out just what they had done, and what Camarillo's sacrifice would mean for Reticot and beyond.